Good Friday evening. I'm certified meteorologist Nick Kelly checking in. It's been warm, it's been muggy, it's been humid, but it's been quiet for our Friday, with highs going well into the middle 80s, if not upper 80s for some of you. Tomorrow's going to be a different story. It'll still be muggy, warm, humid, but we are definitely upping our thunderstorm chances, and unfortunately we have to encounter a severe threat too as we go through tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow night. Before we get to those details, let's look at 7th and Range Line. Still looking quiet, overlooking the east side of the city. Camera pointing back toward the general direction of Carl Junction and maybe a bit toward Webb City. But the numbers again today, amazing for late May. On a normal day like this, we should be starting at 59 and topping out near 80. Today, warmer than that. 65 to start this morning and a high of 86 degrees. Numbers that we usually don't see until we get into the month of June. So it's an amazing warm day to start this Memorial Day weekend out. Temperatures, quick check as we come up on 1047, have most spots still in the middle, if not upper 70s. A few outlying areas trying to go back near 70 degrees, but regardless, it will be a pretty mild night before we warm right back up into tomorrow. The Skyline Storm Tracker. This view of the radar network has been pretty quiet for everybody today. Ever since we started keeping an eye on the radar at about the 9 o'clock hour, we have noticed some thunderstorms trying to get going right along the McDonald-Benton County line, right on the Missouri-Arkansas state line, and then trying to pick back up again as you work south of Cassville and toward the western sides of Table Rock Lake. These storms have had a hard time getting together, but that's where any thunderstorms tonight should mainly be. Mainly south of US 60, south of Neosho, Monette, Aurora, and mainly Grand Lake South. You can see even additional thunderstorms. These are right around Okmulgee, Chakotay, Eufaula, and then those will continue to drift right along I-40 and for the most part stay south of us if they stay on their east-northeast track. But again, those are indicators that some moisture is trying to break through a cap that's still in place, the cap that's been holding for most of the day and keeping us quiet. But I am also keeping an eye on thunderstorms to our northwest. So far, indications still indicate that that will not be an issue for us as we go into tomorrow morning. However, all these storms are firing up right along this front that's been on top of us for today. Once it starts lifting back north tomorrow, that's going to really set the stage up for some thunderstorms that we'll need to keep an eye on as we go throughout the day tomorrow. For the overnight, though, again, maybe a few thunderstorms south of US 60, south of Neosho, Aurora, Monette, and south of Grand Lake. And if any of those were to go severe, maybe a few large hailstones. For most of you, though, it'll be partly cloudy and quiet, but also pretty mild to start your Saturday morning out. As we go through the morning, that warm front lifts back to the north. I wouldn't be surprised if we start the early afternoon out quiet. But after 2, 3, 4 o'clock, we are at a stage where we could see some supercells pop up. But this run of the future track actually wants a mesoscale convective system, an MCS, and a good squall line to develop and push east right along the front and right along Interstate 70, plowing through Kansas City, Columbia, and maybe taking a run toward Lebanon and eventually the St. Louis metro. With that setup, it is very possible we could see that, and that could definitely be a high wind threat. But if we see any individual supercells fire up before we try to get some sort of a squall line going, all modes of severe weather are possible tomorrow in the elevated threat in the orange, and especially in that high severe threat that is outlined in the red, as it covers a good portion of the state of Missouri and running right along the Arkansas state line into the boot heel of Missouri. Let me quickly have the webcam to give you a full view of this map. The main timing, as early as 2 o'clock in the afternoon Saturday, it's up until about 11 o'clock Saturday night, maybe midnight going into Sunday morning at the very latest. Once we get past that, our severe threat should move on out. So far, I'm going to keep the highest threats that we could see tomorrow. Large hail, potentially up to baseball size, and high winds approaching 60, 70, maybe 80 miles per hour. I'm keeping the tornado threat elevated, but it all depends on how the morning setup looks and going into the afternoon. If we see any hints of southeast winds at the surface, that may up our tornado threat a bit. But regardless, we have to keep an eye on everything as we go throughout the afternoon tomorrow. As long as you have plenty of sources available to get you any possible watches and warnings throughout the day, as long as you have a safe plan and know what to do, should you go under any warnings, you'll be fine as we go throughout the afternoon and into Saturday night. Let's go back to the future track. Take this out to 7 o'clock. We'll still hold on to the severe threat as we go into Saturday evening. By late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, the cold front starts pushing through. That'll encourage the thunderstorms to shift south and east away from the area. I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a random shower or storm as we start Sunday morning out, but once we hit sunrise, that puts an end to any rain or thunderstorm chances for your Memorial holiday weekend. Sunday's looking great, partly sunny, maybe going to mostly sunny by the afternoon, and it will be much nicer for your Sunday and Monday. So let's do another quick close-up view of the forecast for tonight. We'll keep an eye on a few thunderstorms that'll try to get going mainly along the Missouri-Arkansas state line. Partly cloudy and quiet for the rest of you with lows right around 68 degrees. Going into Saturday afternoon, here's 1 p.m., still looking pretty warm, but quiet to start the afternoon now with the way things are looking. But again, once we hit the late afternoon, going into Saturday evening, that's when we'll have to watch for these thunderstorms to get going. Highs at least around 87, but I would not be surprised if some spots like in northeast Oklahoma, some of you may top out near 90 degrees for afternoon highs tomorrow. We'll continue to watch these thunderstorms as we go through Saturday evening, Saturday night. There's Sunday morning, maybe a random shower storm sticking around, but by sunrise we'll be good. Lows around 61. Then Sunday afternoon just looks great. A little bit cooler, still a warm but nice Sunday afternoon with highs pushing into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So let me hide the webcam one more time. Here's a look at the rest of the weekend forecast. Once we get past our thunderstorm chances tomorrow and tomorrow night, we may have a lingering shower or two Sunday morning, but Sunday overall is looking great with highs near 77, 81 with mostly sunny skies. A nice Memorial Day waiting for us. And going into the next several days, by the middle of next week, we'll have highs between the upper 70s and the lower 80s overall, with morning lows mainly in the 60s. Maybe a few thunderstorms Tuesday, but we'll see if thunderstorm chances can tick back up once again as we go into next Wednesday and into next weekend. Have a good night, have a great Saturday, and let's stay safe, everybody.